Hello. Hello. Let me wait a second so that I can see that I'm actually live. It says excellent connection, which is nothing short about that. Okay, excellent. I can see me. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. Hope you can also hear me. Should be. Wait a second. I can see me. I can hear me as well. So welcome. Welcome to the live stream. It was a little bit of a hassle to get this going. So I didn't, usually I schedule it a couple of hours early so that you have like a head start and you understand we're having a live stream tonight. It's coming. There's no delay or anything, but tonight, first of all, the time is very unusual. I was a little late, so my kids went to bed a little late and I hadn't prepared. So I had to make the thumbnail and all that. And then when I wanted to schedule the stream, unfortunately, my streaming software had to update, which takes forever. It took like more than 30 minutes. That's why it now became like 9:30 something. But good to have you all here. Rohit Edit is here. Chimichanga is here. Hi Tani is here. Daniel Panic is here. Good to have you all. Good morning, Daniel. Hi, Tani is on time for once. Yes, but I am not. Or maybe that's why. I'm well, thank you. Rohit's edit. Totally fine. Yeah, exactly. Now we're on. We're here. Everything is good going forward. Good evening, different games. Nice to have you here. Now, tonight, some updates. We will have an update to the stream going forward, which I will talk about. And then, of course, we talk about Corona and all that usual stuff and what's going on in Japan and what happened this week in my life. And maybe you also share something of your life, but you don't have to, of course. Then different games. Yes, Ricardo Furtado is also here. I'm fine, thank you. Daniel Panic says it's 1 p.m. in the UK. Actually, okay, even though he says good morning, I see. Good day. And GZ10-ish or GZ10-ish is here. Big fan, he says. Thank you so much. And Jesus is also here. Thank you all for joining. I hope you like the thumbnail, which I just threw together. So now let me just get into it and then we can start a normal conversation as usual. So we will have some updates to the live stream. Schedule will stay the same. So essentially every Saturday, 9 p.m. Japanese time, with some exceptions. Sometimes maybe a couple of minutes later, just like today. Sometimes I have to skip, but generally it will be Saturday evening, 9 p.m. Japanese time, which is 1 p.m. London time, right? Is it? Anyway, the change we'll have is there will be guests every now and then. So I'm trying to make it so that I don't have to talk all the time, but somebody else can talk as well. So I hope the first guest will be in the stream 2 weeks from now. And maybe every now and then I will have some other Japan-based YouTubers. Yeah, so that's the big change to the live stream. To bring maybe some new faces to you as well and some new perspectives. And I hope it will be fun. Then let's see what you write so far. Aminox later to the party. Yes, but so am I. So that's perfect timing almost. Just started a couple of minutes ago. Yeah. Now, the good news, Aminox, is I'm very sure, 95%, I fixed the animation. Both animations. So maybe for those of you who don't know yet, we have this goal here for the drone. Aminox is a very helpful donator. So almost every stream, he donates something. But the animation that signals this donation was always broken. But now I'm very sure that I fixed it. So both for the normal Tipeee donation and the live stream, it should work. I think. And if it does work, if it turns out that somebody wants to donate and it does work tonight, then I will actually share what it was. Okay. Now for me, this week, pretty normal, I would say. Oh, Daniel, thank you so much. Let's see if we see it. Should come soon. Hear something, but you don't see anything. Why? No. Oh, no. Why it's not there? That's a total fail. It doesn't show anything. Why? No. No. Okay, but still, I'm very confident that for Tippy it works. Which would be so. Oh, I know why. No. Yes, I know why. Ha 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 ha. I think last time, you remember, maybe last stream, the thing I moved down on the screen sometimes, and now the donation animation moved to the side. So okay. Now I'm very sure it works for both. Very sure. Okay. You don't have to trust me though. Don't spend your money believing me. Okay. John is here. Nice. Will you guys also be streaming your live streams to their followers? I'm not sure. That can, of course, but okay, Daniel, another test. Thank you so much. Let's see what happens. And yeah, excellent. It worked. Yeah, that's technology. Finally, there you go. So this was the super chat. Thank you so much, Daniel, for your kindness. And yeah, okay. So back to John's question. They may. So they can, of course, if they want to, but I don't know. Maybe, I mean, depends on them. Then would be nice, of course, to like, then we can take questions from you and from their audience and so on. Yezer says, good thing my work shift starts at 9:30 on Saturdays in the mornings, but I arrive to my work early at around 8. So I have time to hang around live streams. Nice. You better give Daniel his money back. I mean, no, I delivered, so I think, yes. AACN Network. And yes, there's a picture. So excellent. So this half of the project, making the thing work, worked. That being said, it worked before as well. Will they do live streams remotely with you? That's the plan, yeah. So essentially, they in their location, wherever they are, maybe Japan, maybe not outside of Japan, and me here in the usual room, which is in Japan. GZ10ish says, any news over there? Oh, prove it. Yes, Aminox, thank you so much. It worked. It worked finally. After, I mean, took just like 6 months or so, half a year. That's like nothing almost. Okay, let me quickly turn my audio to the speakers, then I also get the notification. All right. Any news over there of when Japan will start issuing work visas again for Gaijin? Wait a second, let me think. Yes, I think the current status is if you're a teacher or something and the course at your school, for example, your class or so, would be cancelled if you were not able to come, then you can come to Japan. Otherwise, if they can find somebody else or so, no. That's kind of, and there are some other like things that are very limited, but generally like work visa, like let's say software engineer wants to come to Japan, no. Nothing, and no idea when. All right. 33rd of October. Kind of like, yeah, around that time. One more for the drone man. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Ricardo Furtado. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. Take some time. It has a lag. Yeah, I know. It's kind of disappointing. Like the whole situation, even like even for people that live here or Japanese people, like foreign residents or Japanese residents that want to come to Japan, they also have to, like, for example, business trips or so, go out, come back, go out, and so on. But then they come back and have to be here for 2 weeks in the house, and that's like, and can't go elsewhere. So that's pretty limiting. Of course, not comparable to not being able to come here at all, thankfully, from my perspective, but still. Yeah. Okay, so back to my week. So today I played a lot of Lego. I had to build a castle. Almost finished, and then my younger one fell on it. So that's that. Still, I feel like I need to invest more into Lego. Because I like it, not necessarily because my kids enjoying me building stuff while they are around me and actually want to play. But well. And yeah, this week I got annoyed by my smartphone, spent too much time on it. So on Tuesday I said, okay, I don't use it anymore until the weekend. Put it into airplane mode and into the wardrobe. And guess what happened? After I didn't use my phone for 4 days, so turned it on again today. Exactly, nothing happened. So the world is still turning, and my life went on. Of course, I didn't catch a couple of WhatsApp messages immediately, but I probably will. Maybe not like this, but I will take like a scheduled time frame where I have like 30 minutes a day or so. The phone is okay, and all the other times it's like no. Yeah, because I feel it's such a time sink for like things. Oh, I see. Today, then I realized, like, I checked the messages and so on, and then essentially everything was checked. And then I started looking for other things I could check, like give me more, and then it's like, yeah, no, I don't want that. Put away. Don't need that. Things are getting worse in Australia regarding COVID. Number of cases going up. How is Japan dealing with COVID? So, okay, the current situation here is it's down a bit. So we had like at least visibly it was like at the top of the whatever 4th, 5th wave or so. It's going down now. So we have an average in the 7-day average. It's now 18,000 a day, and it was at like 24, 25, I think. So it's going down. Vaccination speed is consistent. So it's still like lots of people want to get vaccinated and are. But we are at 47.2% completely vaccinated and 58.2% once or more. So still far away from any herd immunity, but on the way because people are still showing up and try to get their shots. In my home country, for example, it's pretty like it's almost not changing anymore, I think. And we are like 65% or something of once or more. So yeah, not really great. Okay, October sounded closer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something around again that time. Things are getting. I read that. Johannes, next challenge is to link both chat and Tippy in the graphic to get a true representation of status towards goal. That would be fantastic. And I tried it again. It didn't work. I don't know why, but maybe I should actually spend some more time with that. That being said, I mentioned it previously. So Tippy also has fees, so it kind of levels out with like, because this just here. Wait a second. This does not deduct the fee. So with the super chats, it kind of levels out. Maybe it's maybe a little bit more actually than what's here, but more or less, depending on how many super chats there are. But yeah, it would be nice. Then other news from Japan. Maybe you've read it. Prime Minister Suga will essentially he withdraws after now 1 year. Probably because of COVID. I guess he didn't handle that so well, and he has very low approvals. And yeah, my wife always calls him the guy with the dead eyes. because he has like no life in his eyes. And also another new state of emergency will probably extend it again in the bigger cities. Nothing unexpected, of course, but yeah. Then I don't know, when did they start it? In the beginning of, no, middle of July or something. So then it will be like 2.5 months, maybe, pretty long. And it's always this state of emergency is not a lockdown, so it's kind of very soft and not, yeah. I don't know if people care anymore. Is there an anti-vax sentiment in Japan? I think so. I think one of the things is, or one thing I can see many people that would get more people to be vaccinated would be a Japanese vaccine made in Japan, you know, not from America like Moderna or Pfizer. And now there has been the case where they found like, what was it, iron or something in the Pfizer vaccines, and 2 people died or something, which is of course terrible marketing for vaccinations. So there's certainly, yeah, some people that just don't trust it. I think it's not so much that they say, anybody that's vaccinated can go to my store or something. I haven't heard of that. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe it exists, but I think it's not to the extreme in like the US or something. But yeah, there are certainly people that say no. I think the people above 65 years old or so, maybe 90% or more are vaccinated. So, yeah. So, sorry, yes, did I say Pfizer? Moderna. So, Moderna vaccination I got Moderna. A couple of shots like the things, you know, they found. All right, so my English is breaking apart apparently. Do you believe that by the next year things will be back to normal? No. So actually, in my company, we also talked. Can I say that? No, I think it's realistic. If you look at the situation in the world, I think we are 27% or so vaccination worldwide, that we can expect COVID to be around for quite some time. And of course, then if we have Delta, then we have, you know, Delta Gamma or something coming after that, and so on. Yeah, my Greek is not as good as my English. So it will certainly take like 5 years or so, I think, to be closer to something normal. And then probably I expect COVID to be like a flu, essentially, common flu or so. That's my opinion. Of course, it can be totally different. And again, I'm just some guy sitting in my room and talking to a camera. So don't trust me. Trust the experts, please. Denmark is one of the most vaccinated countries in the world. Approximately 74% of the population have received 2 shots. Yes, and now they party and then like say, okay, there's no COVID anymore, right? Officially, like no more restrictions and so on. Even if the numbers rise again. Jasivadas is here. Hey, good to have you here. Still haven't asked. I'm so sorry. I thought about it after work and I thought, okay, I should ask. Yesterday we had a Nomica and I thought I should ask there. But then, as it is when you drink, you forget things. So unfortunately, Jasivadas asked me if it's how the situation is if you come here as a student and get an IT internship at the site. And I wanted to, because I don't know, I want to ask my colleagues, but I still haven't. Yeah. Muss ich organize. Do you believe it will take more than 2 years for everything to go back to normal? Yeah, so certainly. I mean, normal, like kind of normal. That being said, will you be able to come to Japan before 2 years? I'm quite positive that will be the case. Probably not this year. I read somewhere somebody is expecting COVID to be over in February, and I was very surprised to read that. I don't know where they take this from. Maybe it was a politician or something. Not sure. The Moderna vaccine had contaminated batch, not Pfizer. Yes. Don't they have vaccines for horses called Pferd? Yeah. Pferd meaning horse in German. Most likely. By the way, to the numbers. Sometimes we have a guest here, Ninja Monkey. He's from Gibraltar, and they have more than 99%. Like Gibraltar is like 30,000 people, but still 99% vaccinated since like May or something. Yes, it was the Moderna vaccine. Also says different games that had steel, not iron. Okay, still 2 deaths in millions of vaccinated is almost nothing. Yasa said, okay, he was worried. All right, Chimichanga. Will the vaccine passport certificates be temporary or permanent in Japan? Boosters every 6 months. I think I haven't heard that anything official for boosters yet. And I think it will be permanent, maybe? I don't know. So far, I think that's the case. But I didn't even apply for mine yet. Yes, you can only work 28 hours as a student maximum if you get a special permission. That is, if you don't, then you can't even do that. Where Different Games lives in Portugal, we are the second most vaccinated country in the world, and we still have a lot of restrictions. Yeah. How's the status? Is it like, does it have an impact? I mean, I imagine probably the number of infected people does not go down so much, but the number of people that die and have to go to the hospital goes down, hopefully. I'm Inox, vaccine passport. Japan doesn't even recognize their own vaccine passports. Yeah, so a very small chance that we recognize VPs from other countries. Yeah, and I feel like that's exactly the point why they don't recognize their own, personally. To get to the UK for holiday, I had to take a test and show my vaccination card. It will be same. I mean, Japan, if you come here, first of all, they don't care about your vaccination card, but you have to take a test within, 72 hours before you arrive in Japan. So if you change a lot, that could be close. And then again, when you're here in Japan. And then you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And depending on where you're from, you may have to do 3 of those 14 days in one of those very small government paid hotel rooms where you cannot get outside. It sounds super fun. Daniel says, I can't wait until the travel is back to how it was before. Yeah. And also being back at a point where it's like, I kind of feel okay to not always like disinfect myself and so on. I mean, here I feel like more people don't wear masks all the time. Like if they walk their dog in the evening or so. The other day I had like 3 people with the dogs. Nobody had a mask. Unheard of. Okay, Different Game says it had a great effect on the reduction of people in need of assistance and number of deaths. All right. Someone once told him, as a joke, that the vaccines would start a zombie apocalypse. Yes, that's very likely. But at least we have nice 5G. I sort of believe this COVID is like we are in the Walking Dead show. Yeah, sometimes. Number of new infections are declining drastically these days in Denmark, in spite of almost all restrictions being lifted. I see. Are you planning to go back there at some point? I mean, for vacation or so? Or is it also like, if you come back and you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, it's not worth it? That's what it is for me right now. Daniel says, I had no quarantine here since I'm vaccinated and came from an amber level country. We'll see how it is when I go back to Chicago next Friday. Yeah. By the way, any updates on selling your place? And what do you want in Chicago? Then you have to lay over and go back to Seattle, right? Joking. Those people in Denmark as just good as everything, aren't they? Okay, I didn't get I didn't work around that one. RM, hey. I was wondering if you are familiar with coding bootcamps in Tokyo and your opinions on them. I'm planning on enrolling in one for web dev next year, and I try finding a job in Tokyo afterwards. No, I'm not familiar with them. I've never been to anything like a coding bootcamp before, and also not, yeah. I've done a couple of hackathons when I was young and like interested in that. Now I don't. And yeah, I don't know. All sold, all done. Nice. So it was a really good, successful vacation then. Nice. As long as people are with their own families and practice social distancing, then it's not as worrisome if they do not have a mask on. Yeah, in that case, social distancing was okay. I mean, here at least it's very spacious. If it was in another area such as Tokyo, so I would be a little bit more concerned. Yeah, but also in Tokyo, people like get in this mindset like I'm vaccinated, I don't need a mask and so on. Which is, of course, kind of, yeah, mix it, like, you know, it kind of reverses the situation. Like the mask is to protect others, not yourself. First and foremost, I feel, or my understanding. But not really thinking of going to Denmark when possibilities of return to Japan. When the possibility of returning to Japan is so uncertain. Yeah, I see. Yeza says, it happens in Canada sometimes when someone is jogging outside. They aren't wearing a mask, but they aren't interacting with anyone else. Yeah. I used to jog last year, I don't anymore, but in that situation, jogging with mask is terrible. And also, like, it gets super wet and so on, and then the effect is almost, like, gone. Mask is still mandatory even if vaccinated. In Canada, I see. Here it has never been anything mandatory. It's just like a recommendation. And people will hand you a mask if you don't wear one or so in the train. The sarcasm strong with you. Go forth, my son, and insult the world politely, says Aminox to Daniel. Okay, I'm caught up. Nice. By the way, it tells me we have 7 likes now, and since we have 14 people, why don't you take the second and press the like button if you haven't already? I don't like asking for that, but it certainly helps this stream, I think. If not, then at least it makes me feel great. So let me know how your week was. How's the situation in your country if you haven't shared it already? Was there anything noteworthy in your week? You finally decided to go somewhere in 2 weeks or so from now. Of course, inside of Nagano, but we will go to a ryokan of a friend, which should be empty at the time. So very socially distanced, but looking forward to it. Also, it's getting colder now. Today it was like 23 degrees or something. I think Wednesday should be 20 only. So almost winter, essentially. And then by the end of the week, probably back to 24 or something. But it's not as terrible as it used to be in summer. The mayor of my area in Canada, or the whole Canada country, had to be put in multiple lockdowns every time the cases were higher than before. I see. Yeah, in Germany we have some KPI, do you say that? Which is like the number of people, the number of infections within 100,000 people in the last 7 days. And I think if it's more than 50, then it's like no sports, no contact sports or team sports. and you have to wear masks and things like that. And if it's lower, then do whatever. Something like that. What was the most inappropriate or awkward exchange you've had with a Japanese person? So I was at a matsuri here with my wife, maybe also son, not sure. And they have floats, right? You carry them. And they were like, hey, come over, join us. And I was like, okay, why not? And then my wife took a picture. And afterwards, when I saw the picture, then I realized that the old guy, relatively old, like 60s or so, pretty drunk, behind me was way too close and had like his hand, what do you call it, thigh or so? Like really, and way too close to me in comparison to where he should be from appropriate spacing. So that was like, in hindsight, was a little bit awkward maybe, and also kind of unexpectedly weird. And I remembered it well because I have a picture. Other than that, I don't know. It's like all small things. It's not something like really big that sticks out, I think. KPI means key performance indicator, yes. And that's what it is right now in Germany. You know, managers speak like that. That's why this pops up in my brain. Denmark is a very small country with only 6 million people. Makes things like pandemics a lot easier to handle. Yeah, but in Germany, for example, it's also like essentially, to a bigger part, it's a responsibility of the states, which are also smaller. Some are probably like around that number, and some are much bigger, but still doesn't work. Yes, it says we had to close many places so many times. The cases were up in Canada. I can imagine. Can't travel more than 5 kilometers from home here in Victoria, Australia. So no exciting things this week, except a large tree blown over on my land in a storm. That sounds so Australian, having land and then a tree falls on it, and it's not like just like here, if you have land, then usually this means it's occupied by your house, and if a tree falls on it, then your house is gone, or at least severely damaged. So that sounds very Australian to me. I imagine like you have like a lot of your house, and then you have this 5 kilometer radius, and within this 5 kilometers, it's just one other house or so. That's what I imagine now. Yeah. No need to answer if too personal. Did you need a medical exam prior to getting vaccinated to make sure you can have it? No. I didn't have to. I had to talk to a doctor. I could talk. There was a doctor. I could talk to them if I had questions, which I had. And then I had to sign that I understood and everything. That's it. That was super quick, like, because it was my company, so it was all very organized, and a couple of stations essentially. First, yeah, you hand in your document, to check, and then you talk to the doctor, then you get the vaccination, then you get to the next room and wait for 15 minutes, like if you like get unconscious or something. You do that there, and then you're done. Then you have a small little thing there, and then you are in pain for 2 days, and that's it. I heard in Iceland that it's illegal to have a pet turtle, and I wonder why. In Iceland, pet turtle. I'm also not sure. I'm also not sure if people have it here in Japan. I'm sure they have, but there are quite some turtles here in the wild, so it's probably easy to find some. When I was in Kyoto like a month ago, almost 2 months already. 2 months ago, we went somewhere and then we met a guy who said, yeah, this kind of turtle is very good. You should eat it. It's like for it will give you a great sex drive and so on. So yeah, apparently, I don't know. I've never eaten turtle, I think, so not sure if it tastes well or not. So much for pet turtles. In Portugal, ferrets are illegal to have as a pet, but not turtles. Ferrets. Why would it be illegal? And why would you have a ferret at all? It's not quite as empty as you imagine because I don't live in the outback. Nearest house about 100 meters. That's very close. I mean, here nearest house is about 5 meters, maybe. Is it the nearest house? Yeah, probably 5 meters or so in this way, 7 in this direction. Japan. Japan's countryside. And if it was Tokyo, so it would be like 15 centimeters. Jesus, KPI equals 重要 業績評価指標. Okay, I just say KPI in Japanese. Poor turtle. Yeah. Well, certainly. Only a 15-minute wait after vaccination. In Portugal, you have to wait for 30 minutes. Yeah, of course you can stay longer, but they just said wait 15 minutes. Maybe I stayed 20, I don't know. In Alaska, it's illegal to be drunk in a bar. What is the definition of drunk? I mean, now again, like my stereotypical Alaska image pops into my head where it's like, it's cold outside, you get into a bar, and because it's cold, you get super drunk, and then you take a bar stool and smash it on the back of the guy next to you or something like that. And that's why people shouldn't get drunk. That would be my logical, I don't know. How do you say it in English? My logical conclusion. Based on stereotypes. Turtles are reptiles. I believe it would taste scaly. I don't know what scaly means. But yeah, I'm not sure if I ever had any reptile. I went to Shanghai where they have frogs a lot, but I didn't have any. A friend of mine had it and said like chicken or so. So maybe turtles also, who knows? Chicken. Hisato Mitani in Tokyo walks his gigantic turtle through the neighborhood for many years. Very cool. Turtle's huge. Nice. I haven't seen that before. I saw a horse once. Just standing there in Hiro. They sold like with the owner, and they sold flowers. Yeah, that happened. I've never seen. And sometimes you see people like carrying whatever, rabbits or cats. Like they take them for a walk, but actually they don't walk; they're carried. Legality of pets differs. Did I miss something? Okay. Legality of pets differ in each state in the US. If you really think about it, there are 51 separate governments with different rules, some of which may be based on long-standing racism or religion. Yeah. I mean, the nonsensical regulations in the US are quite fun to read if you're not living there. Hiraeth, how are you doing? I'm doing excellent, thank you, and thank you for joining. Different games. Says, I remember reading that in Texas you can mostly have any animal you want as a pet. Oh, excellent. Like, and also guns, of course. I have a pet tortoise. I don't approve of eating turtles. Yeah, me neither. I also didn't touch the turtle at all. Just took pictures. But it came like because it expected food or something. I heard frog legs taste fishy, but the rest of the frog tastes like chicken. Oh, I see. John says, I have frogs in my dam, but I haven't caught and eaten one yet. There you go, you even have a dam. Damn it. In Texas, guns are pets. Japan is the only country in the world in which pets outnumber children. Is it true? I mean, I know it does it, but is it really the only country? And Japan doesn't have a lot of pets, I think. Like, I mean, yeah, if you count like Kabuto Mushi or so, the Beatles, then yes, maybe. But I mean, because most apartments don't allow you to have a pet. That's why I guess. And no, maybe you just don't see as many because they're all inside. Terrible. Poor pets. Like our neighbors only, like, no pets, 2 cats, no pets. So, and if that's not representative, then nothing is. Eminox says to John, so on a warm day, hot damn. By the way, I got this by a friend. He made it for me. He's from Germany, and he gave it to me as a thanks. This is a small little seed. So put it together like this. Here you go. Small little seat. If you can't sit in Seiza, you know what it is when you sit down on your heels, essentially. Like if these are your legs and this is your upper body, then you sit like this. If you can't sit like this very long, then you can use this. It's very portable. However, I can sit like this very long, so and never use it. But I have it and I like it and I appreciate him making it and giving it to me. Can people have koi fish as pets in Japan? I think so. Why not? I mean, they're everywhere, especially like when there's a ryokan or so and they have a small pond, there are koi. So I think so, yeah. Rimshot sound. Seminox. A hot dam. In summer, dam often goes dry, so frogs seem to disappear under the mud. Oh. Poor frogs. Charlie's here. Welcome. Yo, just wanted to pop in and say your videos are pretty cool. Thanks a lot. There will be another one day. Maybe next week. Or not. Maybe the week after. Who knows? No demonstration of the seat. It looks cool. I mean, I could do that, but... Okay. So essentially... Wait a second. So... Now you can't hear me anymore, you just have to trust me. Take this. Take this. Sit down. Here. And that's it. Very comfortable, obviously. Oh, Daniel, thanks a lot. Gonna go out now. I'll be back home next stream. Jamata. Thanks a lot. Have a good and safe flight. Don't get corona, please. And there should soon be the thing. Not yet. Yes. What is the most popular breed of dogs and cats owned by people in Japan? Dogs, I guess it's the... What's that? You know, the Akita Inu? Probably? Something like that? Maybe? No idea. Actually, no idea. And no idea about cats. Because my wife is allergic, so we essentially can't have them. So I never went down path and no idea. It is a very cool chair, indeed. As promised, a very cool chair. Is working from home in Japan better than in the office? Which do you prefer? What are the pros and cons in your opinion? So in my opinion, I like both to some extent. So I feel like if I want to get stuff done, focus, then home is definitely better. But for socializing, talking to people, feeling that like you're actually in a team, seeing them, and deciding things together or something, communicating faster, the office. And since I'm a manager, of course, I have to do a lot of the latter. But I enjoy when I'm at home, of course, like I can see my kids way more, I can sleep more. I can also help my wife sometimes and so on. And we also, our company also encourages us to like move every now and then, exercise a bit or so. So that's also easier to do here. We have a fitness studio in the office, which should be used outside of work hours. But I've never used it since it opened because I'm at home all the time. And still you have to go there and shower and all that stuff. And here just can like exercise here or in the next room in the dojo. Do people sit on those things for very long? On these? I don't know, because I've never seen anybody have something like this. Sure. And so, for example, when you do, because I practice Aikido, right? And if there's a shinsa, a test, then you sit, and that's sort of the people that watch sit, and then maybe also the people that wait for their turn to be tested sit, usually like that, if they can. If not, then like with crossed legs. And of course, they cannot bring that. But so yeah, usually they do that. I can maybe sit like this for 30 minutes or so, not forever, but kind of more than most foreigners, especially because most foreigners are not used to that, can't get down that much if they only sit in a chair all day. Yeah, that's that. Shiba Inu, yeah, maybe Akita Inu, Shiba Inu, that's probably the ones. Yes. Yazas also has to start work. All right, enjoy. Have a nice day. Elminok says, I'm too old and knees too ruined to be able to sit like that. You can do it. You can do it. You need to stretch and all that, and then I don't know if you can really ever gonna. But many people that couldn't and came to the Aikido training, and they were like, if they were at like this position or so, if it's the upper body and this the legs. And then step by step, they got more down and down and down. And some made it, like they can actually do it. And they also started late. I mean, depends. Some were like in the early 40s, some in the late 50s and so on. What is the thing you currently miss the most about Germany? Family doesn't count. That's cheating. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Friends? But I guess you mean outside of people. Clearly food, yeah. I also don't miss the people that are not yeah, maybe to some extent. I miss the like directness. I don't know, do I miss that? I'm not sure. I will find out when I'm there again. Yeah, but at least now I idealize the food a lot. And I idealize the summer, which is of course terrible when you're there, because it's raining all the time. But here it's so hot, it's terrible. I do anything because when it's too hot. Yeah. Still, must say here in Nagano, I used the air condition maybe 10 times or so this summer. So compared to Tokyo, that's pretty nice. Yeah, food, no. It's really hard here, especially if you want to budget, like if you don't want to spend too much money on food, but you still want to have a nice cheese, then you're in a tough situation. Because cheese is very expensive, like maybe 2 or 3 times the price, I guess, I feel. And depending on what, like you can easily pay like $20 for like 100 grams of cheese, depending on where it's from. Do you miss proper Western TV? Not at all. Yeah, funny enough, yesterday I talked to my wife. Like I talked with another foreigner who said like, so my wife and I, I say I'm in my position is the kids are too young, don't show them TV because if the eyes are still developing, that's not good. That's my position. And my wife says, poor kids can watch TV and so on. And I talked to another guy yesterday who has the same situation, like his wife is pro TV for kids and he's not. And then my wife was like, yeah, probably that's just because there is no fun or good TV. There are no fun or good TV shows outside of Japan. I don't agree with that, but yeah, I don't miss it. I don't miss it because, yeah, I mean, if I would like to watch something, I could probably stream it. In some way, most of the things. And what I do indeed like the uncertainty of TV, kind of, or like the ephemerality. Do you say that? You know, like it's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. I do like that part and kind of zapping, and then oh, that looks interesting. Let's do that. That aspect, I don't know if I miss it, but I enjoyed it. But that's not exclusive to Western TV, of course. Although, yeah, Japanese TV. Only if I'm watching with my wife, because then I can talk to her about it. Maybe it's annoying for her, but for me it's fun. It's normal being more expensive. Cheese is not typical in most Asian cuisine. Yeah, of course it's normal. But the thing is, if you want that here, then either you can't, or most things you can't get. And if you can get them, then it's expensive. So that's the tough thing. And if you're in Germany, I mean, Germany generally the food prices are way lower than here. Yeah. So that's there. That's that. Rent, not so much. Interestingly. And another interesting thing, here in Japan, when you eat outside and when you cook something at home, it's rather close, I would say. Depending, of course, for how many people you cook and so on, it kind of evens out more. It kind of goes more into one direction. But because here you can, if you want to eat outside really, and you go to like Matsuya and pay maybe 600 yen, you get your full, like, you get your food, you get your free drink, tea or water or whatever. In Germany, because you have to pay for the drinks separately and the food is generally a little bit more expensive, maybe at McDonald's you can get to that price point, like 600 yen is like what, €4.50? Even maybe not at McDonald's, you can get like a doner kebab maybe, and then a drink from a supermarket. But generally, eating outside is cheaper here, I think. And also I do it way more here. But cooking at home is way cheaper in Germany, interestingly. Is it easy to find the deodorant at convenience stores? Asking this since I know that at least in China it is almost impossible to find it there for sale. I think more and more you see a little bit more like advertisements on TV for that. And maybe they have like one brand or so. I haven't tried it though, because I get mine from Germany. I think it's not, the one I have is not on sale here. So last time my mom came, which was in 2019, end of 2019, she brought two and they still last. I have one up here in my room and one downstairs in front of the bathroom. Because I don't, sometimes I dress here, sometimes there. That's that. Aminox usually says, food in Japan is not too expensive if people adopt Japanese cuisine. Yeah, exactly. So essentially, if you come here as a student, you don't have money or so, then you integrate also much easier, right? Because like this is part of it. But it is excruciatingly expensive if people try to maintain the Western dietary habits. What do you think? Yeah, I agree. Also, like if you like fruits or vegetables, fresh stuff, at least if you go to the supermarket, it may not be the cheapest. If you go seasonal and maybe you're in an area like this where you can buy it from your I mean, one thing is our neighbors sometimes ring and say, hey, our relatives gave us too much of the like homegrown food. Do you want to have like this bag of stuff? That happens, or like I don't know, 10 kilos of potatoes here. That happens here in the countryside. Or like not too far from here is a vending machine, which has the produce of the house that owns the vending machine, which is like, I don't know, maybe tomatoes or potatoes. Next day maybe sweet corn, stuff like that. But generally in the supermarkets, it's probably also way more pricey than Germany. In Germany, it would be like, maybe the prices here are closer to what you pay in Germany for organic stuff. Yes. I would like to know, Aminox, if dairy products are cheaper in Hokkaido, if you know that, than, for example, in Tokyo. Also very interesting. I went to a big supermarket in Tokyo I was always wondering, why are they writing, like they have the groups of products, right? And why are they writing daily? And it happens a lot, like daily. Why daily? Is daily supermarket, or what do you want to tell me? And then I realized, of course, they didn't want to say daily, they want to say dairy. That took me a long time, but I guess they themselves still haven't realized it. Deodorant you see sometimes, but not anti-transparent. Asians sweat differently. Yeah, but that's a generalization. I think it's the other kind of the maybe 70%, 75% sweat way less, but not all of them. Just not all foreigners smell bad, right? That's nice. I also once got fresh eggs from a vending machine close to a farm. Nice. Yeah, I'm thinking about making a video like wholesome Japanese vending machines, and like this one. For example, here at the temple, another one I would like to feature is so there's a big temple here around which the city evolved, and they have their omamori and so on store, like Lucky Charms and stuff like that. And when it closes at night, they open on the other side a small vending machines for this kind of stuff. That's also something I would like to show. Alminox says, I'm spoiled for vegetables living in Hokkaido. Very fresh and cheap. Yeah, nice. If willing to make a short drive. I saw somewhere how much they get for like 100 kilos or so. It's like, I don't know, 100 yen. Something like that. Like super cheap what they get paid actually. And then I pay like for 5 potatoes here, I pay like 300 yen. Depends on the season. Yes, dairy, exactly. That's what they wanted. That's what they were thinking, but they write daily. Because R and L. In menus at restaurants, I often saw the typo nudies instead of noodles. Interesting. But yeah, the L and the lowercase L looks pretty much the same, definitely. Yeah, and then of course, like L and R there's no differentiation in Japanese language. Bhavish B.S. Shetty, konnichiwa. Good to have you here. I've seen plenty of vending machines in Japan, but never once with fresh food, says John. I've also only seen this one. I mean, and it's not like a vending machine with automation or something. It's more like a locker. And it has like 2 options, 100 yen or 200 yen. And you throw in 100 yen, then you can open it, take it out. I think somewhere in Tokyo, I saw an article, they have like fresh bananas or something like that. But nothing outstanding. In Germany though, they had one with meat. There's a butcher. And you know, because in Germany, in my part of Germany, the businesses have to close by 8 p.m. and cannot open on Sunday. So then if you want to grill and you're out of meat, then you go there. I don't know if that's like still going. I guess COVID may have helped to keep it going. But generally, the vending machine situation is terrible in Germany compared to Japan. And one of the reasons is usually it's overpriced and old. By the way, I eat sweet stuff again, John. So I would be interested in cakes. Reacting to your comment here on Patreon here now. Yeah, so that happened. Essentially, maybe to give everybody more background, so I stopped eating sweet stuff in September last year. I didn't eat anything sweet until Christmas, and then I started eating fruits. I mean, I ate like carrots. That was like the sweetest, or tomatoes, which are fruits, but that doesn't count. But then I started eating fruits again, and then end of May, I had my first bite of cake when we were making the last video, the Nadai video, and then yeah, from there on, I kind of got a little bit more open. Still not as extreme as it used to be, but yeah, I have something sweet probably every day now. I don't like super sweet now anymore, though. So like brown chocolate, milk chocolate, nah. If it's like 70% or more cocoa, then yeah, that's okay. Best bad Japanese use of English, if seen, was in the local bookstore where the biology section was named creature. Huh? Well, meh. Why not? I mean, it's also, the question is, who's the target audience? Is it Japanese people and they should understand, but it looks cooler in English? Then maybe that's appropriate. Who knows? Looks like you'll definitely have to go back to Nadai because lots of nice cakes there. Yeah. Yeah, I should contact Michael again. He probably will be more than happy to help. That piece of cake must have kicked in like the first alcohol shot. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I ate fruits before, so not really. I mean, tastes really great. Don't remember my first alcohol shot. Just that I really didn't like it. Crazy Reels is from India. Good to have you here. Hey. I might get a job as a software developer in Japan. Nice. By the end of this year. Excellent. They pay about 2.1 yen per month. It's like, what's LK? It's like 210,000 maybe. Do you think that's sufficient? So let me know if that's 210,000. I assume now in my answer that means 210,000 per month. And that depends on where you are. Okay, 210. Yes, 210,000. So depends on where you are. If you're in Tokyo, it's going to be tough. But also, again, it depends on in Kyoto. Okay. Depends on where in Kyoto and how you live and how you want to live, what your expectations are. The first year may be okay. So in Japan, it works like this. You have to pay residence tax. You have to pay like your income tax and so on, and then you have to pay residence tax, which is based on your previous year's salary. In the first year, of course, you didn't have a previous year's salary in Japan, so it's 0. And then the second year, it's based on the previous year. So then you pay 10%, usually around 10%. And that makes an impact. If you have been promoted until then, may level out. If not, then may be tough. But I think this is around an entry level. Even in Tokyo, I see like 230,000, 40,000 or so for entry level. So it's not uncommon. So it must be certainly possible somehow. That being said, and also many English teachers work on a salary similar to this, I think, initially. But yeah, Alminox also says it works only until taxes kicks in. So first year may be okay, maybe. And what is the average Tokyo-based salary? Oh, I have no idea. I think it's like 39,000 a year, so maybe, but maybe totally wrong. Wait, average salary. I just googled it now for you. In Tokyo, 4.89 million yen. I'll just say 5 million. Let's just say 5 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 12, which makes it 416,000. Yeah, but that's of course like from you just start and you're like very experienced in your career. And since there are a lot of old people, maybe that's like a little bit, to the higher side. I also don't know how it's the average, it's not the median, so maybe median would be more clever to look at. Just comes up with the average. So I don't know. The issue with average is if there are people that earn really a lot of money, like 100 million or so, then it totally, like, the average goes up a lot, right? But median would be like, yeah, more close to the reality. Now back to the question, 210,000. Yeah, it's certainly tough. Now, as I said, many people get that when they start, but these people usually live with their parents. And that's why it works. You know, if you can live already, then maybe after taxes you have like 150,000 left. And then you go out with your colleagues and friends or something, then maybe you have 100,000 left. And I don't know, you can save 50,000 and purchase stuff or whatever, invest into things you want to invest into. With the rest, but okay, company pays 80. 80? Now I'm confused. Please give me more context. Percent of the rent. Ah, that's a different story then. That's a different story. Then I think it's doable. You won't be living like a king, but it's doable. I mean, it also depends on your goals, of course. If you say because you're from India and like the salary level is maybe different, and you want to like put something to the side or maybe send back to your family, again, it may be tough. But I think it's livable if they pay 80%. What do you think, Aminox? Do they have an upper limit? But again, because again, like rent, depend. If they decide where you live, then the rent can be very low. But also have a friend who lives in Kyoto now in an Airbnb. Actually, he pays only like 700 euros a month. What's that? Maybe, or even like 70,000 yen or so. Yeah, of course. It also depends on transportation, health insurance. I mean, they should pay health insurance, a part of health insurance. Transportation, hopefully. Not sure. IT companies usually do like up to 20,000 yen, 30,000 or so. I'm not sure of the prices in Kyoto though. For my feeling, so Kyoto is a city with about like 1.4 million people, which is similar to Munich, where I'm from. And I'm always super like astonished by how much longer it takes me to get from A to B in Kyoto. So transportation maybe, or if they decide where the apartment is, then maybe it's hard for you. It may take long for you to get to the office. So maybe that would also be nice, like door-to-door time. How far is it from the station? So when it comes to rent in Japan, I think there are 3 or 4 factors. One is, of course, how new is the apartment? The other one is what kind of apartment, mansion or apartment type, like concrete building or like this wooden thing. The next one is how close is it to the station? So do you have to walk a lot or not? Is there anything else? Maybe that's the main 3 ones. Yeah. So, and for you, it depends on what's important for you. Like, or not only where is it close to the station, but also where is it? Which station is it? So if you want to be close to the city center and have a big apartment, of course, size also is a factor. Have a big apartment, which is new, and 5 minutes by foot from the station, that's expensive. If you're okay with like, I don't know, 20 square meters in a 30-year-old house that is 15 minutes from the station, which is not like super close to the city center, of course it's like half the price or so, or less, probably less. And age is really a big factor there, which is counterintuitive for people coming from Germany, for example. In Germany, it's like if you stay long in the place, you pay way less than the new people. because rent goes, they can, by law, they can only raise the rent by a certain percentage, which is way less than when new people come, because then they adjust this to the market price. So in Japan, it's counterintuitive for me, or for us, because the people that move somewhere first pay the high price for the new apartment, and then the people that come 10 years later pay the low price for the old apartment, for the now old apartment. Yeah, so here you go. Aminox also says if it is subsidized, definitely doable. I mean, again, it depends on what you expect also. If you want to travel a lot and so on, and expect to be able to do this twice a month, then it's tough. But, you know. Did they already offer you? Because you say you might get it? And what's your feeling on the company? Like, you know, overtime and stuff. Not yet, okay. But you already know the range of your potential offer. Can you ask what they offered during the interview? If they pay the commute monthly, for example. I mean, you can, but generally I feel like the interview is more focused on the work and so on. Like, or they try to find out if you're capable technically and if you fit the team, and you try to find out. You ask them questions if they allow you to. You try to find out if the company's a good fit, and maybe also some more technical things if that fits what you are looking for. And then once you're through the interviews in the offer meeting, then you ask things like that, maybe. But I mean, if you talk to an HR person up front, then that's also the case. Or also often if you, even before starting anything, when some headhunter comes to you, then you can talk to them and say, hey, my expectation is this and this and this. But that depends where you are in your career. Just make sure to arrive just after April 5th. It gives you the most time until you must pay income tax. Beginning of the year, he said. End of the year, sorry, end of the year. So, it will be soon. Taxes. In Japan, there's this system where you can get, where you can purchase certain things from kind of underpopulated prefectures or so, or areas. And then you can, the money you paid for that, you can, like, 80% or more, you can, how do you do that? Counterbalance against your taxes. So you pay less taxes, but you had to pay this. Where was I going? Yes. And I have never used this, which is maybe not so clever because I pay a lot of taxes. And yeah, now finally, for the first time, we are looking into this and doing it actually. Fruits and stuff, you know? Deductibles. Thank you. I'm hungry. should have eaten more before. Yeah. Yeah, but coming here to Japan, have you ever been to Japan, Crazy Reels? If not, I imagine must be, I don't know if frightening, but like making you nervous maybe. It would make me nervous. Like coming to a country I've never been to, don't know the culture, maybe don't know the language a lot. Okay, no, not yet, okay. And then also new environment and job and so on. That's a lot of new stuff. What did I announce about changes to live stream? I will have guests. So essentially, timing and so on still the same. Saturday, 9 p.m. But every now and then we will have a guest here. I mean, by here, I mean in this virtual room, not in this room probably. And yeah, then we talk about Japan again, or Japanese topics. And by that, you can finally see with somebody else as well. I don't have to talk all the time, and we get a different perspective. And the first one maybe in 2 weeks or so, on the 18th. That's the plan right now. Not sure yet. Not perfectly fixed, but that's what we are looking at. And other than that, I announced I need to invest more into Lego. Because we certainly don't have enough. Not in my wife's opinion, but in my opinion. And my kids probably don't care so much. Yeah. But I do. At least not yet. Aminox says to Crazy Reels, be prepared for culture shock when starting, depending on how Japanese the company culture is. Can you be prepared for that? I'm not sure. Let's see. Just realizing. Wait a second. We don't need this. Okay. I don't know if it's good. Is it good? Probably hear hissing now. So I had like noise suppressing because I usually like a couple of like 2-3 weeks ago I had to turn on the air conditioner and you would hear it a lot. But I don't know if the hissing of this mic itself is too loud now. But I like it more. If I'm talking, then I like this mic more. If I'm not talking and there's like the hissing, you know, atmospheric sound, then nah. All right. I would only go to an international company, says Jasiwadas. I want to have Feierabend at some point and be able to take a few days off. I mean, also there are also good Japanese companies that are rather generous when it comes to holidays and so on, compared to others. And for international companies, I mean, if you come here, for example, you work at, I don't know, Mercedes or so, and they send you here, then this works for up to 4 years. And then you have to go to a local contract, and then you will have all the Japanese holiday stuff. Rahul is here. Hey, good to have you here. When did you move to Japan? I moved on... I boarded the plane on the 6th of July 2016 and I arrived on the 7th. Sounds like the hissing of the aircon gets louder when you're not speaking. Yeah, it's not the aircon because it's off. It's the microphone. I guess the mic/recording software is adjusting the volume on its own. It shouldn't be, because I actually said that. But maybe some settings, yeah, who knows. Yeah, but certainly, that's exactly what I also saw when I make videos and so. I mean, when I'm making videos, I cut this part out usually, because there's no point in me having empty space. That's just like makes people leave. But in live stream, of course, I cannot permanently talk like that. Okay, I re-enable the filter. Now it should be gone. How's the sex life in Japan? I don't know. I mean, I can talk about mine, but I'm married, you know? So it's not like I got a lot of people. I have a friend who used to be single in Kyoto. And he depends on what you want and where you, then, and if you know where to go, then, and what kind of person you are, I guess. Yeah. And then some people, of course, have also, if you go to certain, let's say you go to Hub, that's a very kind of stereotypical foreigner pub thing. And the people that go there know that and want to meet foreigners, usually, I would say. And foreigners also know there are people that want to meet them. And yeah, so there are these kind of peoples that actually are more interested in non-Japanese people. So, yeah. Maybe it's the cool of the PC that's making the sound. No, my PC doesn't cool. It's an M1 chip. It does not need that. It's just the microphone hissing. Yeah. It could be worse than Japan. In China, many companies are apparently expecting employees to work 996, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. Yeah, even YouTube suggested a video like that. 996, that's 11 hours, right? Because 1 hour break, at least in Japan, legally, 6 days a week. 11 times 6 is 66 hours. Yeah. How much overtime is that? 26 a week. Yeah. I mean, I think I never did that. But you see my reaction, right? So you understand it's not like out of this world, I think. And I think this happens also here. Not everybody, but now it's completely silent when you're not talking. The magic of microphones. No, this is actually the software now. It's a different one. Japanese Tinder looked more like guys looking for women to drink with, but not looking for a relationship. Sometimes even guys with a wife at home looking for female drinking companions. Yeah, I'm not sure how close to truth that is, or if that means something. I have no idea. The last time I was on Tinder in Japan, it was not me, but a friend who visited, and I had to do the talking, you know. I mean, to the best of my abilities, this was 5 years ago. And there were certainly women that said just like, hey, can we meet tonight? If you're interested in that. Yeah, so that happens. The magic of an audio gate. Yeah, magic. I mean, still, this is like not a proper like kind of condenser microphone and so. If you see that, can you see it? No, not really. So this is like an audio recorder. Looks like this. 2 microphones here. They are probably, I don't know. Yes. But I like the sound. Usually my voiceovers are done with this one. Maybe one day I invest into a microphone for a couple of $100 or so. But right now, you know, I'm not a pro streamer or anything. For now, we work on this. Sorry, you might hear that. And Japanese Tinder guys have only food photos or cars. And I think, sorry, a Zoom, yes, Zoom H4n. Also have a 1N, oops, this is moving. Also I have a 1N for like when I'm on the go. But this one, it's like I bought this 5 years ago and it's audio. Thankfully it doesn't change a lot compared to video. You know, you got 4K and 8K and so on, and you need to upgrade and all that. But audio is like, oh, nobody. If it sounds good, it sounds good. I can improve here still. I mean, because I have essentially, this is a box, which means it's echoey, and there's no soundproofing or anything. If I do a voiceover, often I just put a blanket over me and then it sounds good. But for a live stream, for example, I could put like soundproofing or sound blankets or something. Back to the Tinder thing. Japanese Tinder guys have only food photos. Okas says Jasiwadas. Yes, maybe, I don't know. I think another issue when I see Twitter is that people have like masks all the time or so. And like, okay, nice eyes, but maybe crooked teeth or something, no idea. It is very sensible to you touching and any part of it. A lot of noise and scratching, which makes sense. I feel, yeah. And for the, when I'm on the go, I have, I don't get it now. It's like maybe this size or so, which is in my pocket, and I have a lavalier mic here connected to it. It has some downsides because on microphones, on voice recorders, you can control how much input you want, and you don't want it to clip, which means it goes too high, then you lose data in the loud parts, and you can't recover that. And I set that, and then I do on hold, which means exactly that. So if you press anything, nothing happens. But this control of how much you want is like a thing you rotate. It's not a button that's then digitally changing it something. So this is still physically there and not blocked, which is totally stupid, in my opinion. Yes. So much for that. And so much for this. Yeah. Also, I bought this like kind of extendable arm thing, which included this, and it was kind of the maybe it was the most expensive there was on Amazon, $20 or something, but it's too cheap. Doesn't feel good, especially this one here. Anyway, Rode Go. I would like to get the Go eventually. We used this for the Narai video, made a couple of mistakes as I shared on Patreon. You're not on Patreon. So I made a couple of mistakes. I don't have them, but the other guy who helped me, Andy, he has them. He has the Rode the 2, so one receiver, 2 senders, and you can make a couple of settings. For example, you can record the signals separately. So one sender is on the one side of the stereo and the other one is on the other side. And you can also record at the same time into the sender thing. And we didn't do that. So we had everything into the camera mixed together, which was a mistake. Because in some situations it was like we did the interview, then for example at Imai-san's place when I had the matcha, then I drank the matcha and I said, oh, it's so great, and then I started talking about it. But at the same time, Imai-san said something over there, and he has a very deep voice and so on, which is very dominant, and overlaid mine, and I couldn't like separate it anymore because it was not recorded like that. So we did mistakes like that. And usually when I'm on my own, I have the shotgun mic on the camera, which is maybe this distance or so like a meter, which is still okay usually, if there's not like a train passing by or so. And then I have the lavalier mic, so I have 2 different audio sources recording in 2 different devices as a backup. Usually, not in that case, unfortunately. All right, so you cook or go out for food. Like, how expensive is food in Japan? Around how much is spent on food per month? I actually don't know how much we spend. Too much, probably. It would not be in this budget. But we also 4 people. Keep that in mind. Aminox, do you have an idea? So let's say you make pasta, bolognese. I don't know if you eat meat, but bolognese, you wouldn't get beef. You would get mixed or pork. And that would be maybe, let's say 200 grams of minced beef would be 300 yen. The pasta could be 100, like spaghetti or something. And the tomatoes could be 300 as well. So you would have like 700 yen. plus electricity and stuff, salt, and so on, herbs. Let's say 800 yen for pasta, which lasts you maybe, if you like pasta a lot, eat it every meal, and then lasts you a day or so, maybe like that. 800 a day, 1,000 a day. Maybe that's stretching it. When I would go out for work in Roppongi, that is, in Tokyo, I would usually spend around 1,000 yen. So usually they are like lunch menus, which gives you a nice all-around deal. And usually they are around 1,000 yen or less, I guess, depending on where you are. But that's only one meal. So let's say you have this once a day, and then twice, morning and evening, you have pasta for 500 yen. That would be 2,000. Let's say we do this 30 times a month, 60,000 yen, maybe. Not sure. To be honest, the sound on these live streams doesn't need a lot of work. Pretty good at it as is, I think. Yeah, right. And because, I mean, this is not first class quality in any case, because it's a live stream, and Japan internet, I'm not totally in focus. Maybe fast, but at some point also like YouTube and your internet and so on is in between and half of the world as well. So that's fine, I think, for live streams. Yeah. And also, yeah, like I said, I had this microphone here, bought it like 5 years ago, and used it ever since, essentially. I mean, it's too big to be used like as a thing you put into your pocket casually or somewhere. But at home, it's good. Or I actually bought it because it has the possibility to has like 2 XLR inputs, and also recording from two separate sources at the top microphone thing, so up to 4 channels, separate recording. And I thought, yes, if I go pro, like if I buy something, then it should be on a level where I can use it really for an extended amount of time. And that's also how I went with, for example, the tripod I have, which is like $600 for a tripod. Can you believe it? And I had others. So I have, for example, this one. Sorry, the light is standing on. This is like a cheaper one, which was like 100 or 120 or so. And that was not. I mean, compared to this one, I should have gotten this one. Just get the good one, and then that's it. If you're planning to make it for a longer time, get the good stuff. That's what I want to say, and that's also what I did with this one. Do you go hiking in the mountains? How does hiking in Japan compare to hiking in the Alps? I don't know. I mean, there will be probably some hiking coming up at some point. Yeah, but there are other great hiking channels like Go North Japan or so. Yeah, and I don't usually, but I should maybe at some point. No, I mean, I would like to go with my kids or so, or camping at least, or something like that. Ajit Priyantha or Priyantha, can you please give your WhatsApp number? No, that's private. If you want to contact me, you can do either here, ask openly. That's my most favorite because then other people profit from it, or comment on the YouTube videos. Or you can also Instagram message me, but I may not reply because usually I don't check it a lot, especially messages. I use individual 32-bit floating recorders with DPA6060 mics, timecodes synced to the camera, and do all editing in post when doing professional audio for video. Yeah. Well, yeah, usually, like I said, I mean, I told you how I do it. So, essentially, I try to get it as close to me as possible and still get from the camera, and I don't sync time codes or so, but just sync it in post because that's if the camera picks it up, then that's pretty easy. I mean, I must say I would love it actually to go directly into the camera. Doesn't have the greatest preamps, but it's okay for YouTube, I guess. So I would love it to go direct in the camera. But then again, I also want an backup, which usually is the camera. Camera here, record separately here. And then, all right. Jasiwada says, wer billig kauft, kauft zweimal. He who buys cheaply buys twice or purchases twice. How costly is love hotels, love motels? Asked Rahul Gopal. And Aminox replies, I think you are thinking of coming to Japan for all the wrong reasons. I mean, the love hotels is like everywhere. Depends how long you stay, what you want, and so on. Here, even here in Nagano, if you go to some like better ones, so I made a video on one, right? And this room is, for 1 hour, it's like 6,000 yen. And longer, 8,000, I think. And then a night would be 12 or something. Doesn't include food, right? I mean, does include 2 bottles of water and 3 condoms. 3 condoms. So yeah, love hotels, that's it. And I guess in Tokyo it would be kind of the same. And depending on how cheap you are, you could get it cheaper if you just want a bed and a shower. And of course, depending on how fast you will be. Yeah, that being said, the ones I have been to for scientific purposes in Tokyo didn't compare to the good ones here in the same price category. Yeah, that's that. Rahul is coming for a trip. I see. When are you coming? Because right now it's probably going to be hard, right? Very specific insight to the included amenities, Johannes. Yeah, like I said, I made a video about it. I mean, you also get like cream and stuff and shaver and whatever. So it's strictly professional, obviously. Well, I haven't seen the video, I think, since I made it. I made 2 it was not so great, first of all. Anyway, I made 2 versions of it. One was the one that got published, the how to use a Japanese love hotel, because how-tos always sell and everybody has a tour. And the other thing was exactly that, the thing everybody does, the Japanese love hotel tour. And made both like to a draft status or so. And then shared it with friends, and then the winner was the how-to. You also get, of course, like, forgot the name, towels and stuff. Bathrobe, that's the name. But you shouldn't keep it. You can, because you're anonymous. So if you that kind of person, you could, but you shouldn't. What do you want with that? Super big in your suitcase. But yeah, you also get that stuff. And usually there's a vending machine or so, like for drinks, and then also like an adult vending machine sometimes. Scientific reasons, LOL. Don't know what that means, LOL, in this context. Totally serious here. Come on, guys. We are high-class stream here. All 6 of us. So, obviously, yes. Scientific. Okay, already 1 hour 38. Then let's say the usual. Let's do 5 more minutes and then call it a day today. And Love Hotel, I mean, if you're coming for a trip, why don't you just use your hotel? If you have one already. I mean, some hotels don't allow that. For exactly like reasons like prostitution or so. They don't allow like one night stay, 1 night partners or something to come in. Especially cheaper hotels, which I also, for non-scientific reasons, stayed in, for monetary reasons. Yeah. All right. When moving to Japan, do you have a tip on getting some 3 to 5 boxes over DHL or moving company? How did you do it? So my wife was picked up she moved first, like a month prior, by her family, by her sister and her mother. And when you come to Japan, you can take 2 pieces of luggage up to 23 kilograms. So this made 6 pieces. What's that? 130-ish kilograms plus hand luggage, which is another 160 kilograms. And then I also had my 2 pieces of luggage and like way too much hand luggage. That's what we did. That's all. And for boxes, yeah, you can just send it. It's pretty pricey, I think. I mean, if my mom wants to send something, usually she tries to keep it like below 2 kilograms, which is kind of cheap. But above that, it's pretty pricey, I think. Yeah. Love hotels, onsen, capsule hotels, ramen, sushi, the classic guaranteed viewer hits on YouTube. Onsen, I'm not sure. Depends on how you sell it. If you are like almost naked with a towel on your head, then yes. In the thumbnail, I mean. Love hotel, anyway, yes, always. Capsule hotel still on my list. So the one day when I want to like get some more views, then maybe this one. I guess vending machines also in this direction, like wacky Japanese vending machines or so. Ramen, sushi. Not really sure. I think it needs to have some punch to it. Like Monster Ramen Challenge and stuff like that. Or cheapest sushi. 100 sushis for $10. Something like that. But yeah, of course. Did we miss anything? Vending machines is there. Onsen. Love hotel. Probably. I mean, you can just look at the big Japan YouTubers and at the top videos, and then you get like an overview. I think what not to do in Japan is another very popular one. Not a thing to do or so, but also pretty popular. Should make a video on that again. And could I send boxes over before having an apartment? Can the moving company store the boxes? I mean, you can send stuff to hotels here. You could do that. Or if you have an Airbnb and you contact them in advance, it's probably also no problem. Ricardo Furtado is leaving, getting my first dose of Pfizer tomorrow. Good night, mate. See you next week. Okay. Yeah, good luck. I hope you won't have any side effects, or if so, only a few. Have a good night. If moving, travel light and buy everything in Japan. Western furniture, for example, don't necessarily react as you hope in earthquakes. There are many aspects you can't plan for. Better to buy it here. Yes, I think so. That being said, I think IKEA also does not change anything here. And they always come with their... So the thing is, in Japan, if you live in a house you're renting, essentially you're not allowed to pin anything to the wall or drill or anything. So you can't... IKEA always comes with something to attach your like this white thing behind me, to attach it to the wall so it doesn't fall over. Yeah. Can't do that except if you want to pay a lot of money once you move out. It fell over once. Thankfully, my kid was to the side. So much for that. One thing I would bring is like a multi-outlet, or what it's called, you know, power outlet thing. With the German power outlet format. I brought 2, only ever opened one. The other one is somewhere in a box. Probably will still be here in the next 10 years or so. Because then if you don't have that, then you need like 10 adapters or something, which you lose. Ninja Monkey's here, excellent. Better later than later. Yeah. Welcome. Jasiwadas doesn't have family here. I could leave stuff with... he doesn't have family he could leave stuff with in Germany. And don't have somebody in Japan where I could send stuff to. and store, etc. So I need to get rid of 90% of my stuff before I go to Japan. I see. I mean, there's also probably self-storage or so, if you would have to do that. But I personally like getting rid of stuff and not having a lot. Now we have kids, so that's not necessarily super easily doable, but generally. Yeah. Last beach days for you, is it because of weather or because you have to start working again? But you started already, right? Something on the lens. Since I had the last two videos, you see some scenes where you can clearly see something's on the lens, and since that, clean it all the time. Terrible. I think this happened when we went into one of the houses to the backside where there was like dust and so on the floor. Yeah. Yeah, Ninja Monkey, vacation ending. I think the shock you have now that you have to go back to work would be the same shock I would have if I had vacation one day. Like really long vacation, like to the extent you have. Because here it's like I take a day off a week, like one day, Friday, maybe Monday. Maybe I should take Monday off, like that. But essentially, since Corona started, I think I haven't taken more than two days in a row or so. Bonaventure Anayo, Bonaventure Anayo. Can you please list companies that sponsor job seekers in Japan from a foreign country? I don't know. And I would just have to do the same research you have to. So I think no. But usually if you search on like Gaijin Portal or wherever, it's you can even select, I think, visa sponsor. So yeah. So it shouldn't be so hard probably. And then depends also on like your skill set and so on. If you are in a field like IT or so, where there are lots of headhunters very interested in you, and like it's an employee market, then they will also like bring the jobs that are attractive that you can work in easily. As a foreigner not living in Japan, they will bring that to you. Jessiwada says, I still have 30 days for this year. Since I wanted to go to Japan for all of October. That won't happen though. 30 days, that means, and you're in Germany, so you could take all of September, and there are two holidays, are there? That means you would have probably 10 days left, so could also take half of November. Not bad. No, there are more than two, right? Anyway. Is the weather starting to change in Japan? Certainly here. So here it's cold now. I'm not in shorts anymore. And today was like 24 degrees or so. It's raining all the time. I'm not all the time. It's raining daily. Here at least. In Tokyo it's more consistent, I think. Kanto. And hotter, but not like 34. So it's like 27 maybe. 25. Pretty acceptable. It's almost feeling cold now, especially at night. Japan has very different weather from all the way north to all the way south though. Yeah, of course. I mean, here, this is Japan. This is not all of Japan, but it is Japan. And here it's much cooler now. I guess the other areas also are cooler now. Albeit not as cool here as here or cooler than here. That makes sense. Hey. All right. I said 5 minutes 15 minutes ago or so. So then time has come. 20 degrees equals too cold for shorts, you poor thing. Yes. Soon I need to start heating. If this was Germany, it would be a totally different thing, because I feel like 24 degrees in Germany feel totally different. I guess it's the same in Hokkaido. Maybe that's why. Most likely that's why. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this will be it for tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the generous donations. And next time will be, as always, Saturday, 9 p.m. Japanese time, 1 week from now. So thank you for watching and see you next time.